Building Earth King on a budget? Well, this deck list will help. Hello everybody and welcome back into the fort,
where we make magic more accessible for everyone.
My name is Tyler Saves Ya Bucks.
And I'm Taryn Cloo.
And today we are looking at the Earth King and doing a full budget deck tech. This is specifically interesting because it's a deck tech for Taryn here, who hasn't seen a single card other than the Earth King for this. Before we take a look at this deck and also why I made it for Taryn, let's take a look at the commander first and foremost. The Earth King is 4 mana. When he enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green bear creature token.
It's just a bear.
It's just a bear. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power 4 or greater attack, search your library for up to that many basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Very, very strong because of the fact that it triggers off of every single one of your 4 power and up creatures. When I first read this, I thought it was going to limit it. You know, you attack with 4 power creatures, and then you, whenever that happens, search your library. But it's like, no, search it for that many, and makes it very, very strong and a very fun, big mono green stompy deck. Now, I made this for Taryn because we are both huge Avatar fans.
If you couldn't tell.
We got the Earth Kingdom going on over here. We did the Ember Island Players event down in Atlanta. This was Momo.
Puppet Momo. There's a distinction.
So I wanted to help you engage with the game a little bit more because of your big fandom for Avatar.
I'm a big fandom for Avatar.
Now, let's
Foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, you're an Avatar enthusiast. Let's take a look at some of these cards. And like I said, Taryn hasn't seen any of this yet. First up, we have Challenger Troll, 5 mana for a 6/5. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater can't be blocked by more than one creature. It kind of makes it a one-on-one standoff, and usually if you have power 4 or greater and somebody chooses to block, they're probably not going to be able to kill your big creature in the process.
Probably not. Not without some sacrifice.
Exactly. Not without sacrifice. Old Growth Troll is green, green, green for a 4/4 with trample. Now, you'll see I've tried to find cards that cost less than 4 but have 4 power. This is a very interesting one that doesn't fit in too many decks, but because of the fact that it's in mono green, you're probably going to have all that green in order to cast it. 4/4 with trample. When it dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with enchant forest you control, and it can tap for 2 green and also 1 and tap. Sacrifice this land, create a 4/4 green warrior creature token with trample.
More 4/4 tokens. Yay!
Exactly. So thus it is basically ramp. It is ramp in 2 ways because of your commander, but also it gives you another 4/4 to then ramp on further and further. Rampaging Baloths. This is a classic commander card, 6 mana for a 6/6. Trample. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 green beast creature token.
I love landfall.
What's crazy about this is the fact that if any of these 4/4s happen to attack and your other 4/4s, you then search your library for that many basics, which then make that many more 4/4s.
That's a lot of 4/4s.
It's a snowballing effect, snowballing Baloths. Sandman Shifting Scoundrel. This is 3 mana. Yeah, can you believe this is a Spider-Man card?
I can imagine that this might be Spider-Man related.
3 mana, it has Star. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. So again, it's another thing that you can cast for before you cast your commander, but it can possibly get up bigger and bigger and bigger. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So there's some invasion there.
Handy.
And then 5 mana, return this card and target land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So if this dies, you're able to sacrifice it. Well, not sacrifice it. If it dies, you can then bring this back to the battlefield and a land. Bellowing Tangleworm. This is another classic commander card. 5 mana, 4/4 Intimidate, which means it can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or creatures that share a color with it. Other green creatures you control have Intimidate. So now here we go. We have a interesting way to add evasion while it being a 4/4 creature itself.
Yeah, most things should be green, according to my math.
Uvenwald Oddity, my nickname in high school. 4 mana, 4/4 trample and haste. not the craziest effect, but if you do flip it for 7 mana, it turns into Uvenwald Behemoth, Trample, Haste, 8/8. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Trample and Haste.
Okay.
This is good in the early, well, mid-game. Mid-game, and then the late game, giving that power buff, the Trample, Haste. You can play some big creatures, and it's an 8/8 on that side as well. Mm-hmm. And you said it. Thunderfoot Baloth is 6 mana, trample 5/5. As long as you control your commander, it gets +2/+2, and other creatures you control get +2/+2 and have trample.
Even bigger, even beefier boys.
Yeah, and I believe your commander is a 2/2, so thus it would then also be a 4-power creature.
4/4, indeed.
Scoot Mob.
Scoot.
You've heard of Scoot Swarm, but this is Scoot Mob. Very tricky in this deck. It's 1 green for a 1/1, but at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 5 or more lands, put 4+1 counters on Scoot Mob.
That's a lot of counters.
So then you can play this turn 1, let it kind of sit there, and then by the time you do have all those lands, it becomes a 5-power creature that can attack and get you more lands and more and more.
Uh-huh.
Yiva, Nature's Herald, 4 mana, 4/4 as well with Flash. You may cast green creature spells as though they had Flash.
Ooh.
Just again, you're able to, in this case, when you ramp out all these lands, they're tapped. You can go to your turn, untap your lands, and then kind of just pass the turn from there, and then cast giant creatures on other people's turns.
Yeah. And is that a bear as well?
And that is another bear.
Another bear.
Ghalta, Primal Hunger is a 12 mana 12/12 with trample. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power among creatures you control.
Now that's a big bear.
that is so dinosaurially big that it's a dinosaur, that bear.
You said it.
This is just really crazy in the deck because you have so many big creatures. It can typically cost you just 2 green.
Yeah.
Not too bad. We're on to some of the ramp now. We have Raucous Audience. This is from Avatar. 2 mana. It taps for a green, and if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, adds 2 green instead. Very similar to Elysian Caryatid, which is basically the same thing, but taps for a mana of any color, which is also very similar to Whisperer of the Wilds, which is 2 mana, and then if you have Ferocious, creature with power 4 or greater, it taps for 2 green. What I think is really tricky and cool about these 3 mana dorks is the fact that when your commander comes down, it makes you a token.
Yeah.
So if you didn't tap any of these mana dorks when you cast your commander, now when Bosco, the bear, comes out, you can then tap these to add 2 green right away and do a follow-up play, which is always very nice. Sakura Tribe Elder, Steve, 2 mana, sacrifice it, get a basic. Just always good to have.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Plus, it also has, it's a creature, which helps all the other things in this deck that like when you cast creatures. Wild Growth, 1 mana, enchant a land. When it's tapped for a green, or when it's tapped, you add a green. I love this card. It's great in budget builds, and also it's ramp as early as turn 1, and also helps you out as late as the last turn of the game, where you can enchant an untapped land that will now tap for 2.
Yeah.
Llanowar Elves, it's a classic.
Classic.
Rampant Growth,
Classic.
Somberwald Sage is interesting, 3 mana 0/1, not a creature with power 4 or greater at all.
But it has a bear.
Oh, there is a bear
There
back
is a
there.
bear.
You can tap it to add 3 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. This deck is so creature heavy. This is like a soul ring, kind of. There's not a soul ring in this deck because of the fact that you're ramping so many lands out onto the battlefield. And this is a way to just power out something huge as early as what turn? I mean, you can ramp something out early.
Okay, thank you.
Arbor Elf, untap target forest. If you tap it, there's a lot of forests in this deck.
Should be a lot of forests, yeah.
Elvish Mystic, also a classic. Goreclaw of Kal Sisma. It's really cool because it's 4 mana, but it says creatures you control with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast.
Heyo.
And that's just great. That limits everything basically you're going to be casting in this deck. Whenever it attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn.
What a deal.
Also kind of a way to close out the game. Topiary?
Topiary.
Thank you. Stomper is 3 mana for a 4/4 with Vigilance. When it enters, search your library for basic land, put it on battlefield tapped, but also it can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. It
Shouldn't be a problem,
shouldn't be a
right?
problem, and at the same time, it's 3 mana for a 4/4.
Like it.
Hulking Raptor, 4 mana, 5/3, Ward 2. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add green.
And you don't even have to tap it.
You don't have to tap it. It just happens.
Hey.
Emerald Medallion. I'm so happy the medallions are kind of in budget range, especially for mono green. It's a 2 mana artifact. Green spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
Love it.
As early again as turn 2, you're able to put this down and just, it's going to save you so much mana that people might not notice until it's far too late.
Until it's too late.
Herd Heirloom, one of the more expensive cards in the deck, but so important. 2 mana, taps for a mana of any color, spend it only to cast creature spells. And then you can also tap it. Target creature with power 4 or greater gains trample until end of turn, and when it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Hey, like that.
It can help you ramp out big creatures, give them trample, close out games, and give you a little bit of card draw. Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Speaking of card draw, we're on to some of the card draw here.
I love card draw.
This is a very fun card for budget builds, in my opinion, and it does a lot of work, even though people have kind of overlooked it over the years. 3 mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Helps you smooth out your draws.
Like that.
Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay green. If you do, draw a card.
Hey.
So thus, it helps you if you're trying to dig later in the game. You have some good creatures. You're trying to give them all trample or something. Cast something, pay a green, draw a card, and you can keep cycling through with that.
Yeah.
Garruk's Pack Leader, 5 mana, 4/4. Whenever another creature you control with power 3 or greater, we're going down, enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card.
And those tokens will be really helpful for that.
Exactly. Harmonize, it's a budget deck, and a lot of the card draw in this deck is based around creatures, so every once in a while you want some card draw or ramp and anything like that that doesn't specifically ask you to have that many creatures on the battlefield.
Yeah.
It just says, hey, draw 3 cards for 4 mana. You could have been board wiped or something. It helps you bounce back.
Not bad.
Keeper of Fables.
Love it.
Yeah, this is a classic, especially in your cat deck.
Yup.
5 mana, 4/5. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Bear.
Yeah, if Bear helps with that. A lot of other things help with that. There's not many humans in this deck. Hunter's Insight, also very good. 3 mana, instant. Choose target creature you control. When that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards. This can refill your hand out of nowhere, especially with that Uvenwald monstrosity or something out.
Yeah.
Sirach, Elusive Hunter. This is another 3 mana 4/3, so it is 4 power. This spell can't be countered and has trample. Whenever a creature you control or a creature spell you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card.
Okay.
It says creature spell you control because of the fact that if it's on the stack and somebody counters a creature, you'll draw a card. And then if somebody Path to Exiles a card of yours, you draw a card.
Indeed.
Also, look at how many bears are on this card.
So many bears.
So many bears. Sirach has a troubled relationship with bears. There's a famous card of him punching one in the face.
How dare.
How bear he?
How
But
bear he.
look at him now. He's friends with bears.
Leading the bears.
He's leading the bears. Primordial Sage, 6 mana, 4/5. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may draw a card.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. Spinner of Souls, there's a lot of words on this one. It's 3 mana for a 4/3. We'll stop right there. It's a spider with a smaller butt than its power. We don't get that too often. Usually there's a bigger toughness, but here it helps us.
Spiders are tougher in my mind as well.
We got 4 power and it has reach, but also whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Well.
What's really good about this is the fact that if you lose a bunch of creatures in combat somehow or a board wipe, this ensures that you just replace all of them right back into your hand. Very, very helpful. Garruk's Uprising. I've said this a lot today. It's a classic commander card. 3 mana enchantment. When this enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample.
Love it.
That's just so helpful in the deck. And whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card.
Love it.
This is one of the most important cards in the deck, and luckily it's been reprinted a lot, and it's like that 50 cents. It's about $1 at the most. I like this card a lot. Outcaster Trailblazer, 3 mana. So there's a trick that you can do here. By the way, it's a 4/2.
Love it.
It has plot. So you may plot it for the same cost as its mana cost. Why would you do that? But we'll explain that in a second. 3 mana, you exile the card from your hand, and you can cast it as a sorcery on another turn for not paying its mana cost. So you cast it for free. So say you go to turn 3, you plot this, and then turn 4, you're about to cast your commander.
Yeah.
What this says is when it enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. Nice. And then whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So you plot it, and then the next turn you're about to cast the commander. You cast this first. You get an extra mana. Maybe you spend it on the commander or whatever. But then when Bosco comes out, you draw a card.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-powered creature on the field. It's a nice little sequencing. Plus, it's just very strong in the deck.
That would be a good sequence.
Shamanic Revelation. I've talked about this card, I think, 3 or 4 times, doing all this avatar stuff. 5 mana, draw a card for each creature you control, and then Ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you gain 4 life for each one of the creatures with power 4 or greater.
Well, then.
This deck is going to kind of feel all in every once in a while. When I've tested it, you attack with all of your creatures, and then if they go away or something like that, or if people are able to attack you in response on their turn, now you're in a spot where your life total is going down. This is a way to pull you back from the brink of defeat. Mm-hmm. You can gain so much life and then draw a bunch of cards to just set yourself back up all over again. Colossal Majesty, 3 mana enchantment.
That's a big foot.
That is a big foot. Any bears in there? No.
Take it out.
I'm taking it out. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card.
Like it.
It's just helpful. Return of the Wild Speaker, 5 mana, instant. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn.
That could be a game changer.
Yeah. Well, not in the game changer list, but changing a game of Commander.
Yeah, it's not the official title.
No.
It's more of a, hey,
that'll change the game.
Hey, that'll buff my bears.
Eternal Witness. This isn't necessarily card draw, but it is a way to get any card from your graveyard back into your hand for only 3 mana.
That's nice.
And again, it's just another creature that will trigger all these things that, like when you cast creatures.
Yeah.
Soul of the Harvest. Speaking of that, 6 mana, 6/6 trample. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card.
Okay.
Rishkar's Expertise. I feel like I've talked about this a lot recently too. 6 mana, draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, and then you may cast a spell with mana value 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Well then, that's quite a few things that we've seen so far.
So we've talked a lot about drawing cards, and a big reason for that is the fact that you're going to be ramping a whole lot. If this deck does the thing, and even if you attack with, say, 5 creatures with power 4 or greater, you're going to ramp 5 lands. You don't want to untap and go to your turn and you have like 2 cards in hand.
Nothing to do with it.
And nothing to do with all this mana. Of course, you have big creatures. Obviously, they help you get all of these lands onto play.
Yeah.
But having things like this that can help you draw right back up or even past 7 cards in your hand means that you have a lot of mana and you have a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Toski, Bearer of Secrets.
Bear.
Oh, Bearer of Secrets. 4 mana, 1/1, can't be countered, indestructible, attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
That's nice.
This is a little bit different than the Keeper of Fables that we had talked about a second ago, where this triggers off of every creature that hits. Keeper of Fables just draws you a card for each player you hit.
Yeah.
So if you hit somebody with Toski with 3 creatures, you're going to draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
Disciple of Fraley's. This is really good because on the other side, it is a land that you can pay 3 life and have it come into play untapped.
Okay.
But for 6 mana, you get a 3/3. So it's not 4/4. I'm sorry, everybody. When it enters, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power.
Ooh.
This is just something where if you have a whole bunch of creatures laying around, if you have all those tokens from Rampaging Baloths, bring this down, gain 4, draw 4. It's not too bad.
Not bad.
Beast Whisperer, of course, because it's a creature-heavy deck. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card for 4 mana.
Must whisper to the beasts.
Yeah. All right, now we're on to some finishers. Become the Avalanche is a 6 mana spell. Draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Then, creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Ooh.
Cast Rishkar's Expertise, cast this, there's a lot of things you can do in this deck. Unfortunately, this doesn't give trample to your board, but we've already seen a lot of ways to do that, including cards like Edray's Forerunners, which is 8 mana, 7/7, Vigilance, Trample, Haste. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2, gain Vigilance and Trample until end of turn.
Okay.
So even if you don't take people out with this card, which typically you do, especially in a big powered creature deck like this, is the fact that they all have Vigilance now. So you just attack, and then they're just sitting there waiting to block.
Just there.
Yeah. Just bear.
It's a boar, not a bear, but it's close enough.
Yeah. I keep trying to see, what is that thing with the glowing... Oh, no, that's just another boar. Another boar.
Another boar.
Boring. Baru, Fist of Krosa. Now, this was a card that I had to read a couple times, not just because of the future sight frame, but because of the fact that I needed to make sure it works this way, and it does.
I trust you and your expertise.
5 mana, 4/4. We're going to ignore that you can discard another card named this to make a green worm. It's singleton, so you can't do that.
You can't do it.
But it says whenever a forest comes into play, that's any forest, so someone else could play a forest, but in this case, whenever a forest comes into play, green creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn.
Not bad.
Now, what's interesting about this is, say you have 5 creatures with power 4 or greater, and you attack. That's an attack trigger for your commander.
Yeah.
So you then search your library for 5 forests and put them onto play before blockers have ever been declared.
Oh.
So they hit the battlefield giving +5/+5 and trample. And then that just keeps scaling with the deck from there.
Yeah.
So Baru, I haven't really seen you before for obvious reasons, but in this deck you're incredible. Overwhelming Stampede, 5 mana until end of turn. Creatures you control gain trample and +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Again, if you have a 6 power thing, +6 and trample
is wild.
Will probably close things out, yes. Snakeskin Veil, your commander and other big creatures are kind of going to be lightning rods for removal.
Yeah.
1 mana instant to put a +1 counter on a creature, and it gains hexproof. Can help you save it.
That's helpful.
Gaia's Gift is also a way to put a counter on something. It gains reach, trample, hexproof, and indestructible.
That's nice.
And it's kind of a way to win a game. Giving that trample to a very big creature at instant speed could just make somebody think they can chump block, and then all of a sudden you trample over for the win.
All this other stuff, yeah.
And then Wrap in Vigor. This is a very old one. 2 mana instant, regenerate each creature you control.
Okay.
So what this does is, say they were going to die in combat or die in a board wipe, they don't die instead. All damage is removed from them, and they're tapped. That's all it is. But it's just a way to help you save after somebody tries to cast a board wipe. But in the same way, you can attack all the way through. Say you're going to lose some of them, regenerate them before they die.
Okay.
Bushwhack, we are on to removal. This is 1 mana. This is an all-star in limited. You can pay 1, search your library for a basic, put it into your hand, then shuffle, or target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So it's a fight spell, but also it can get you a land, which is nice when you have some landfall synergy in the deck. You want to be able to just play 1 more land, this can help you get there.
Yeah.
Prize Fight is another fight spell for 2 mana, but you make a treasure as well.
Okay.
Roar of Challenge. This could possibly end a game as well. 3 mana, sorcery. All creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. Ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, that creature gains indestructible until end of turn. So why this might be able to close out a game, especially if you're at like a one-on-one, you can attack somebody with all of your big creatures. Well, cast this first, then attack, because it's a sorcery. And then everything has to block that one creature. You just say all of your creatures block this one, and the rest go through.
Everything goes through.
Very nice. Roar of Challenge indeed. Terastodon. This one's great. This is 8 mana for a 9/9. When it enters, you may destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent destroyed this way, or put into the graveyard this way, its controller makes a 3/3 green elephant creature token. I got there. Why this is funny is the fact that they're 3/3s.
Yeah.
And what is in your deck?
4/4.
Exactly. So you get rid of people's really crazy non-creature permanents, and then they can't even fully block what you're going to be swinging at them with.
Even I can do that math.
Ram Through is 2 mana. It's a punch spell.
It's a ram spell.
Yeah, exactly. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. It basically gives trample to a fight spell.
Okay.
And you can even just do it that you have a 6/6 and you fight a 1/1 and then deal 5 damage to the person.
Yeah.
So it works for getting rid of something you really want to, but also getting damage through.
Yeah.
Scrap Shooter is a 3 mana 4/4. You can gift a card, which is great for being political. You can, one of your friends, you can say, hey, I'm going to give you a card, and when this enters, if the gift was promised, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls.
Okay.
So thus you can say, hey, I'm going to give you a card, and I'm going to get rid of that problem piece. It helps with the politics of it, as well as the fact that you're able to get a 4/4 for 3 and remove something. Azuri's Predation. There's not many board wipes in green, and this is one of them. This is an 8 mana spell. For each creature your opponents control, create a 4/4 green Phyrexian creature token. Each of those tokens fights a different one of those creatures.
Okay.
And then again, they're 4/4s that can trigger your commander in the process. Beast Within, destroy a permanent for 3 mana, and they make a 3/3 beast, which is...
It's not able to block my 4/4s.
Exactly. So you have just given them something that they can't really fight back with. Bridgeworks Battle, 3 mana, gives a creature +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. And then on the other side, it's a land. You can pay 3 life for and have it be untapped.
Okay.
So very useful and removal in the deck. Kenrith's Transformation, 2 mana, aura. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3, which...
Can't block my creature.
Exactly. So you've just downgraded somebody's creature, and then they can't even fight back with it.
And I get a card.
Exactly. It replaces itself. Kogla, the Titan Ape. This is our last non-land, and then we'll talk about the lands.
Well then.
6 mana for a 7/6. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Whenever it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls.
Ooh.
But here's the cool thing. You can pay 2 mana, return target human you control to its owner's hand. Kogla gains indestructible until end of turn. Your commander is a human.
Okay.
This is a way, if someone's going to board wipe, you can bounce your commander back to your hand, give this indestructible. A lot of your stuff will die, as well as the rest of the board, but you have this big 7/6.
Yeah.
And then you can cast your commander and do all the stuff all over again. And it's a way to just save your commander. If someone's going to try and remove your commander right as you move to combat or something. Here's a little tip, actually, now that I'm thinking about this. So if you say, hey, I'm about to move to combat, and somebody says, okay, before you move to combat, I'm going to remove your commander. And then you do the Kogla thing.
Okay.
You are still in your main phase.
Okay.
we kind of shortcut this all the time in Commander because it makes things go faster. But if somebody says before you move to combat or before your end step, I'm going to do something, they have priority to do something, and then you have priority again in your main phase.
Okay.
This is just a little teaching lesson for everybody watching, is the fact that somebody tries to remove it, bounce it back to your hand, and you can say, hey, I never moved to combat. I'm still in my main phase. I recast my commander. Just something, especially in this deck where that attack trigger is so powerful.
Yeah.
Try and do that a little bit more often, I would say. Is be like, I'm about to move to combat and see if anybody does something. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, I did not move to combat. I'm going to cast it from my command zone or whatever.
And now we move forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then similarly, if you're playing against decks like this, wait until they move to combat.
Or don't.
Right, move to combat, about to declare attackers. Before you declare attackers, remove the thing. Either way. Let's talk about the lands. 33 forests.
Wow.
For obvious reasons.
I'm shocked.
But at the same time, this is a deck that you might get all 33 out. But I felt like 33 was enough to ensure that you're not going to fail to find too often. Because you're going to be drawing cards as well. So some of those lands are going to be in your hand.
Uh-huh.
So say you draw a whole bunch of cards and you drew like 13 of these forests. That's 20 forests in your deck. And everything just kind of keeps going down from there. But I thought 33 was a good number in order to ensure that you're going to consistently be fetching up those lands when you need it.
Not to mention, I am noticing Jet's little hideout there.
Yes,
the card you chose.
These are the Avatar lands. And another side note about the ramp that I put in the deck, it was mainly creature-based ramp. There was a couple ways to ramp lands, I think. And a reason for that, too, is putting creatures on the board does not pull lands out of your library for when your commander hits, and then you do all that stuff.
Yeah.
We have Hidden Grotto. When it enters Surveil 1, taps for a colorless, or you can filter it. I love these lands because there's also Conduit Pylons, which is a desert version of that. And then Crystal Grotto, when it enters, you scry 1. So scrying 1 and surveilling 1 helps you smooth out your draws a little bit. They don't enter tapped. And at the same time, you have so much green in the deck already, you can do a little bit of colorless shenanigans with your lands.
Yeah.
And then Bonder's Enclave is the last card we're talking about today. Taps for a colorless or pay 3. Tap it, draw a card, activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater.
Might be able to do that.
When you're in a pinch and you just need to draw a card on somebody's end step and then it moves to your upkeep and you still don't have an answer, you can do this again, draw another card.
Yeah.
It's just a nice thing to have stapled to a land that doesn't, again, take up a spell slot. So there you have it. A full deck tech for the Earth King that you can get for about $45. What do you think of this monstrosity of a green stompy deck?
I love this green stompy bear deck. It's very fun. There's a lot of interaction that I think will be really cool. And you know how much I love tokens.
Right.
I like getting tricksy with tokens. So this whole thing melds together in a way that's exciting.
Well, I hope it was exciting for everybody watching this. I've done a lot of Avatar content recently. If you want to see deck techs on Boomy Unleashed, Avatar Aang, I did budget guides for Firelord Zuko and Iroh Grand Lotus. All of that is here on the channel. Please subscribe and join us here in the fort. So for me, Tyler Saves You Bucks.
And Taryn Cloo.
Goodbye.